Hello, this is Taeyu, your emotional support animal. Hi, hello. Hello. How are you? How are you guys doing? Connie, congrats on being first. Hello. Hellcat, hi. How was Goat so big? Were you asking about my going live message? Because I think you might have been. Which is funny because I also got a Discord message from someone asking me that. So it's like funny how that happened like twice in one day, even though usually it does not happen. Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as on Discord, where if you do a hashtag and then you have a space after the hashtag and then you write a text, it gets big. Message, hello there. And Ilfa, how are you doing? Ilfa, how are you? 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 And Lucky Loopy, hello there. How are you doing? Goat Slayer Ultra Destroyer. Greetings to you. I'm a little bit worried. I hope you're a slayer who is a goat rather than a slayer of goats. Because I would prefer that one. But hello, how are you doing? You're not great but happy to be here? Well, I hope it can help you a little bit. I hope you're having a good day. Yeah, thank you. You too. I was having a good day. I mean, I guess the day is still okay. But like, I had a guest over. I had a guest over for like, well, would you call it 3 days? Would you call it 3 days if they've stayed for like on 3 separate days? Or would you call it 2 days because they only, you know, they just left so they have stayed for like a total of about 48 hours? You wanted to sound ominous with that intro? You managed. Good job. So yeah, yeah, I had a guest. That is a different word. I had a guest over and it was lovely. I think I finally got to experience what it's like to be like part of like a friend group, if you want to call 2 people a friend group. Let's I don't know. It's a similar vibe, right? Like a friend group where people are like big memers. So you're always talking in weird memes, and then eventually you get a sense for like being like really funny because you have like all these funny ways to phrase things just ready to go. I think that might be a thing. We spent like that entire time almost entirely just communicating in the form of the Game Grumps voice that they gave to Ivan from Devil's Third. Your EP, oh, me too. It has been a very fulfilling last few days, but also holy crap. I am a little bit spent. Also Alex, hello. Wow. How have you guys been? I was up late last night, 1 a.m., a new record. That's a new record, really. You don't stay up terribly long then. That is good to know. Like for me, a record would be like closer to you. I mean, I guess there's no such thing as a record for staying up late for me, considering that I've pulled all-nighters. So, yeah. Your musical debt is growing. Oh, no. I really need to figure out a way for like music that the kind of music that you produce to fit into my streams. Like I feel like it should be something more playful, right? I don't know. Huh. We'll figure something out. Yeah, it's unusual to have like a someone here who is like more of an early bird. I also do ambient stuff if that works. Ah, ambient. That would probably work better. If you could show me some examples of your ambient stuff, that would help. But yeah. So, how have you guys been? How have you guys been doing? Cause yeah, I don't, I did, in terms of like subjects to tackle for this whole thing, the only thing I have is that like, I woke up in the middle of the night, like the other day, and I couldn't go back to sleep because my thoughts were circling around all these things that I've been putting off, that I've been procrastinating on. Because I don't know, recently I've really been stuck in this kind of cycle of dopamine addiction, where I just can't manage to allow myself to just let silence be silence. And I'm filling it with stuff that is like too distracting for any thoughts to really be allowed to happen. It's a good development that like we've been, Reverie and I, we've been listening to a little bit more music. Yeah, I am so addicted to Bird Brain right now. A little bit late on that one, but it's such a good song. Sleep was bad, but at least it was. Oh man, yeah, bad sleep is something I'm very familiar with. I don't know. I can't remember ever waking up and feeling well rested. I haven't been too great, like I said, but overall I'm managing with support. Like, if you would like to talk about in what way you haven't been doing great, if there's any particular reason for that. I've had no will to do anything art related, can't even tell why. I'm not like tired or anything. Huh. That's interesting. Like, what kind of a feeling, what kind of a thought pops into your head when you think about picking up a pen and trying to draw something? Does it feel dreadful? Or do you just not feel anything about it? Or, I don't know, there's a lot of potential things that could be going wrong there. I mean, maybe it's not even something necessarily wrong. I kind of feel guilty because there's so much I got to do. Okay. That is yeah, that would be a good pointer towards what the reason would be. Because like being overwhelmed, not knowing where to start, and, the whole thing feeling way too daunting, that is a very common reason. So like, all I can suggest is just taking it in small steps. There's also such a thing as like, in German, I think you speak German, right? It's called Arbeitszeitrestriktion, work time restriction, where like you set aside a specific amount of time, and that is the time within which you work. And you are not allowed to do work outside of that time. And, that can really help you motivate yourself to do some work within that time. Of course you have to like really take some notes beforehand about like what exactly you're going to do. Like you can't just spend that time trying to figure that out. But like if you figure out like a small first step or like a battle plan, then that'll work. And of course, I guess something that makes more sense for art would be Pomodoro technique, which I'm sure you're familiar with, just like these little small instances of a set timer and then breaks in between. And you know, you do it little by little and then you do it for a certain amount of time, but you know, once you get started, you might find that you're already went on a roll and it's much easier to continue. I don't like planning at all personally, it feels too constricting. Also, I almost never follow the plan. Yeah. I don't know, sometimes like just a slight bit of like a direction, just like, you know, just like a starting point and a kind of idea of like the direction that can really help you without feeling too restrictive. As we know from the abandonment thing I have, it happened again. I had a dream I was left behind and the next day someone did in fact do just that. Aw. I got a reason, but it was rather a rude one, which sucks. Got a good friend who I'm spending time with, which is making us both feel better. Aw. Ah dear. Yeah. That is horrible. That would be a potential subject, wouldn't it? Like, abandonment and the fear thereof. That is something I can very much relate to. Honestly, advice does make me feel a lot better. Thanks. Okay, I'm glad. Oh dear. I hope. Yeah, I'm glad that you have a good friend to, you know, to help you feel like you weren't fully abandoned and stuff. Hello there, paying attention again. I am Dayu. Welcome back. No, because I keep saying this, whether or not something turns like really traumatic is largely dependent on how well you are supported in the upcoming weeks, and the following weeks after the event. So it's really good that you're spending time now with someone who makes you feel loved and appreciated as you should be. I'm ensuring he doesn't get to have a rent-free space in my head. Yeah. Good. So, does anyone have an idea for a subject? What was my idea? I don't know. I guess mine was like dopamine addiction. Or, I don't know, maybe also something nice, like friendship. That will also be really nice. A little bit of a counterpoint to the abandonment thing. We did friendship twice? Well, darn. Well, that's a good subject. Twice, really? Wow. I've been thinking about something recently. I always had issues with making friends growing up, and people kept suggesting to just approach people on your own. What I'm wondering is why others never seem to approach me. How about that? What about third friendship? What about it? There's always room in the day for a third friendship. I love that. Well, about the approaching thing. I mean, most people, there are very few people in the world, I think, who really openly, directly approach others to make friends. Like, I've met one such creature who just collects friends, like, all over the place. Like, you go somewhere public and she's on the lookout and always finds, like, oh, hey, that's person, hey, let me say hi, you know? Yeah, so when you look like you are, like, a little bit introverted, like you aren't, like, super open to just be approached, you know? People are very unlikely to approach you. Windbreaker, hello there. Yeah, I like Pokemon. Can only speak to my experience, but as a quiet introvert, I feel like I come off as unapproachable. It's impossible to say since I can't see myself from the outside, but that's a conclusion I've reached. I've also been told at a party a long time ago that people could kind of tell that I'm depressed and lonely. So people, they didn't dislike me, but they didn't know how to approach me. They were always just kind of like, oh, yeah, you're cool too. Okay. But it's almost everyone is just kind of daunted by the idea of like having to take care of someone who like kind of seems a little bit sad, and then you worry that like you're gonna talk to them and then they're gonna start talking about why they're sad, and it's like, oh man. Hi Crystal. Doing well, or at least a little better? Was I not doing well? I was very tired yesterday. Yeah. Whew. It's just, That's another one of those things. I was having a lot of fun, but it was also a lot, Like, constantly having a friend there and like joking around and stuff. You just had a nap? Well, good morning. I come off as unapproachable in real life, but not because I'm an introvert, rather because when I'm out in public, I'm hypervigilant and look like an insane person. Yeah, I mean, if you specifically looked like you don't want to be approached, then chances are even lower that you're gonna be approached. No. So, Still collecting subject ideas. Y'all? How do we turn that into a subject? Like, finding connection? Openness? What else? What other ways are there to approach that? I tried to look deranged in the evening so people don't approach. Oh dear. Why? The only type of approach I get is when people take offense to my defense and try to fight me. Does that happen a lot? Do people just see you looking aggressive and they're like, oh, I see someone trying to pick a fight? That sounds very weird. Fight in the verbal sense. Yeah, I mean, of course, I didn't expect them to like throw the fisticuffs.
Hello Taiju, I am here to remind you that it is me always, an inner cake eating with you. It is just always beautiful with you, and I enjoy that you are a part of my life. Herz, stay so as you are. Herz.
Herz. Oh, Alpha, thank you for picking up the slack for a reverie. Hi there, Face State Lost. Hey, hello. Wow. What a rare occasion. Wait, that's not the person I thought it was. That's not. I thought the emote you were using was a person that I know, but it's not a person that I know. Also, Vampire King, hello there. How are you doing? Gladly, Herz. Reminds me of Neurosama. Face State Lost, hello there, how are you doing? And how did you find your way here? I don't know why I'm... Oh wait, you've been following for a long time? Yeah, your name did sound familiar. Dear me, hello. Whoa, wait, more emo jump scare? Where's more emo? Hang on. This is some good content. Bella is very comfy music when I catch her. Yeah. I've raided into her with Negnasu, yeah. Is that where I know your name from? Is it Negnasu? I was one in a Dillion, if you wonder. Ah, right. No, I was wondering about Thinkabella emote. The Thinkabella emote was Reminded me of, oh god, I'm so sorry. Digishell. Yes. Listen. Right. Yes. Man, sorry, I'm in so many places that like, it's hard to place where I know names from. But yeah, hi. So, what's up? We're still trying to find a subject. So, how do we feel about, for one thing, one possibility would be procrastination. One possibility would be more like abandonment, the fear thereof, that kind of thing. It's all about you? It is not. I think we're all there. We've all been good in that one. Or a way to have the subject of friendship, but in a different way, you know? Every stream is personalized. It is. That's the whole thing about this. We're doing personalized streams here. But for that, I do need your cooperation. What else? I think that was mainly the things. The friendship one. But how do we do the friendship one? Because like, we've apparently had the subject of friendship a bunch already. So like, we do need a different approach for that if we do it. You know? Like, like finding friendship, support system. How about giving support? Giving support. Monty, hi, Monty. Why ship? I'm not a ship. I'm a god. Support can be broad. Giving support feels like when you frame it like that, it always feels like you're talking about emotional support or something. It's a friendship. Aw. You are a friend, and you do have a ship. Gotten Himmel, indeed. I've gotten Himmel before. Doesn't have to be emotional. There's different types. I guess so. Okay, let's try making a poll here with our current ideas. What draw? What draw is what was the first thing? Procrastination. Or, well, I guess we can have that as a different one. Dopamine addiction. Reflection. Reflection in what way? Because we have had introspection relatively recently. That seems relatively similar. It's also like a very broad term, self-reflection. That's a very, very abstract one. Let's see. Abandonment? Is dopamine addiction an actual thing? I keep hearing YouTube coaches talk about it, and I can't tell if it's an actual science-backed thing or no. I don't know for sure, but I just realized. Hello, Musica. Whoa. So manlet corner. What is a manlet corner? What was I saying? Sorry. So manyeth. Oh, manyeth. I see. I see. It's not really possible to have a dopamine addiction scientifically. Oh, but like, it's a similar thing. I mean, it's a similar thing. Like, the thing is like that you can. The idea is still like legit, I think. Not that you can necessarily have like an addiction to the dopamine itself, but like the concept of feeding yourself too much dopamine to the point that like you kind of become desensitized to it. I think that is valid. Okay. Friendship, but different. And I don't know. I guess we have room for reflection. A dopamine addiction would be like a water addiction, because like there are withdrawal symptoms, but yeah. Okay, I started the poll. There's a 2-minute poll. Please use your right to vote. Since I can only count to like 3, maybe up to 7, anything past that is manyeth, I see. I'm addicted to good vibes and happiness. Yeah, like, good vibes and happiness. That's... like, obviously that is something worth striving for. I guess. Yeah. Yeah. I guess dopamine addiction is more like... it's more of a framework for like being kind of addicted to constantly having something to stimulate you, you know? Which is a legit thing. So, right now we have 1 vote for abandonment, 1 vote for friendship but different, and 1 vote for reflection. And 1 vote for dopamine addiction. Okay, we're having a spread here. Oh boy. Can someone throw in their hat and untie this tie? I mean, eventually I'm gonna have to do it. I haven't put in my vote yet. But I don't know which one to do. What shall it be? We're back? Okay. What shall it be with a drunken sailor? Well... I guess... oh. Alrighty. Okay, I guess someone voted... I guess someone else voted for friendship, because that is not what I clicked. Okay. Let's go with the friendship thing, which we'll have to redefine then. How do we approach friendship today? Could we make it something more like connection? Or did we just have connected? I'm starting to really struggle to differentiate these things. Wait, what the heck? Why is my... huh? Why is my YouTube stream telling me that I have 0 views, but average view duration of like almost half an hour? How does that make sense? This doesn't check out. Caffeine addiction, my favorite addiction. I drink coffee to keep the withdrawals away. That is an addiction. I would really like to do the giving support topic since I have an idea for it. I mean, support support would be a way to approach friendship. You don't have to make it about giving support, but friendship is about support, right? It doesn't even have to be direct, even just like having someone there is a form of support, right? I think that's okay. I think we can work with that. Alright. I might have misclicked on the vote, but we'll go with what will go. What did you mean to click? Musica? My silly dude. Although, I don't even remember the options, but something to do with addiction? Ah, the dopamine addiction one. Nah. So which one shall it be? Well, to be fair, Musica, you don't usually join these, do you? Are you intending to join on the drawing? What is going on here? Why is there a notification here? I don't know. I don't know. Was texting and driving in Wreckfest? Oh no. Mayhaps. Usually I'm at work or can hop in late. Huh. Oh. Okay. Damn it. Okay, you know what? Last minute poll. We're gonna have a 1 minute poll. Question what? Dopamine addiction and support friendship. 1 minute. Let's go. Start poll. Heck yeah. This bird so patently absurd, never confident in a single word. God, I'm so addicted to that song. But nah, it's not an addiction. It just makes me happy. It makes me happy. It makes me smile. It's not to the point where, like, you know, it would have to come to the point where I get like diminishing returns from it, but I still keep doing it, still keep watching and listening and stuff. Yeah. Okay, we got 2 votes for support / friendship and 1 for dopamine addiction. So support / is what it's going to be. That one, yes. Alright, let us freaking proceed then. Got to sharpen my crayons, very good. Hello, welcome back. Supporto. Okay, we have a couple of new people here, don't we? Who haven't joined us for this yet. So, let's go through the concept real quick. All these slides are in a slideshow, so if you miss something, you can keep rereading it. But yeah, first of all, I have a little short to explain the basic concept. Art therapy is a way to connect to and explore your deepest thoughts and emotions using art. It can be hard to find the words to really grasp those feelings and get them out there, and art can offer a gentle and safe way to unearth what goes on deep inside. And you might be surprised what you'll find there. You know, sometimes you think you know what something looks like, but then when you sit down to draw it, you realize you actually have no idea. Trying to depict your feelings makes you really have to understand what they are. Doing this in a group setting can provide a healing sense of connectedness and offer up whole new perspectives on your own inner world. I'm not a therapist myself, but I developed an interactive stream concept based on my own experiences with art therapy called Introspective Art, which I stream every Sunday on Twitch and YouTube. You don't have to be a great artist to take part. It's all about the process of expressing yourself and sharing it with others. So come hang out sometime.
Yes. Come hang out even if not great artist. Do it. The Emperor compels you, yes. Okay. We also take poems if need be, but yeah. Would appreciate more the visual stuff. Because visual stuff brings you further away from words, and words are the realm of, thinking that you know something rather than really grasping it. Sharing your art, yes. We're gonna have half an hour to work on the image. Of course, you can keep submitting it as long as you, as long as we're still going through them. Oopsie daisy. But yeah. Where's my stuff? Alright, I had to reset up my everything. So no. Wait. Where's notepad? I need to refind my notes. Oh no. I used to just have it ready to go before I had to upgrade to Windows 11. It kind of forced me to. Where did I put it? There it is. It's just in documents. Okay, not hard to find. Good. So, once the half hour is over, you can submit your creation to that Google form, which is in place to make sure that it is possible to do it anonymously if you so choose. And yeah, the point of sharing it with others is to get a sense of connectedness and find those new perspectives to, maybe see something that you didn't see yourself before. Yeah. And then to give those perspectives, there is a feedback round, and for that round there are rules to make sure that no one has to regret sharing themselves. Yeah, basically the idea is just to express the feelings and thoughts that the art evokes within you, speaking for yourself and your own experience, not making it about the artist, and not about the quality of the art, but just about the feelings that you feel when you look at it. Basically, mostly. It's hard to do. It's hard to really do that purely. But yeah. So, when you think about the subject of support, about being given support, about giving support, about your support system or the support system you wish you had, whichever of these speaks most to you, what does that look like? What kind of a color does it have? And yeah. Then get moving. What kind of scenes come to mind? What do the people look like? What actions does it involve? That kind of thing. Now, right, I guess let's start the countdown. Not for 7 minutes, but 30 minutes. A full 30 of the older minutes. Yeah. Starting now. And of course I still have to bring up my reflector. Teo, could you do a sad little goat noise into the mic? But why though? I don't want to do a sad goat noise. Is that good? Does that please you? I mean, technically it's a goat noise. Technically all that I do is sad goat noises because I'm a sad goat. You ever think about that? Bleeds pathetically. Bah, 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 bah. Bah. Oh no. Don't be sad, have a sword. Aww. I would love a sword. And I never know how big to make this thing. But so. What do I do? That is always the big one. Sapoto. A support would be some great. Wait, a sword would be some great support. That is what I was trying to say. I would also appreciate more lumbar support. But none of that is really what I'm looking for. Ilfa, are you listening? Pillar is support. Pillar is support. But the pillar men are not very supportive. Unfortunately. They will betray you. They will not treat you right. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. That's a different thing. Support. I don't know, I guess I'm gonna go a little bit more abstract with this one. I'm just gonna get a vibe across. And then maybe we'll see what happens. Let's go with a nice little blue. Oh yeah, let's go. There's some nice blue. There's some nice blue right there. Very jittery, brushy. Boy, very anxious brush. Okay, so right now I'm drawing clouds, I guess. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if that's the vibe.
Should I worry about the fact that I'm finding it so hard to come up with something for this subject? Does that tell me something about myself? Also, why is it looking so yawnic? If you don't know what that word means, I'm not going to explain it. You have nothing either? Well, darn. Connie, we're all depending on you. Okay, pressure much. Sorry. Oh, wow. Zoom. Oh, hey, this looks kind of green. That's funky. What am I doing? What am I doing? I don't know, I'm just trying to figure things out. So what is green color? That's what Undertale said. I guess green is healing, or at least something that brings you closer to being able to spare. Let's see, let's put a little layer below. Come on. There we go. No. This is not improvement. Yeah, we'll get a bit of a vibe going, and then we'll figure out like a more of a something motif. It feels right-ish for now, at least. Spray paints. How about that? How about them spray paints? Let's make small splatter. Not splatter. Splatter is different thing. Okay. I mean, huh. So unusual. What an unusual image for me. Streaking! Hi there, Batty. How are you doing? Thank you for the streak. Oh. Oh, right, I was on a lower layer. That explains something. Uh-huh. Okay, let me close my eyes and see. What do we have here? Oh. Oh. Thank you for visiting. How are you doing? Okay, I got an idea. I don't know why that is my idea, but it is an idea. No, I don't know if that's a good idea. Sometimes not everything that pops into your head first is the right thing. Thank you, Infinity. Hi, hello. Subject is really difficult because support looks different for each and every single person. Well, it is about you, you know? You're supposed to make it a personal thing, a self-expression. It's just... Oh. I guess I'm a little bit beside myself. First thing, mind isn't right over here. Not necessarily, at least. It often is. It often is. But like, I had an image in my mind of like someone riding a kite, which is a little... is an interesting image to associate with support. Because like, you are allowing this thing to fly by riding the kite, by flying the kite. But it's also tied down by you. So it's like, 20th thing in my mind and none were right so far. Aw. I'm sorry to hear that. So, it doesn't have to be anything big. It's not always right, I can confirm. No way me holding a support beam I stole from a construction work and whack it around like I'm from Berserk or whatever is probably not linked to the subject. Probably. Not... It's maybe not the most emotionally resonant one. By the way, there's like 16 minutes left. We're at about the halfway point. Okay, but... Alright. You know what? I don't know. I'll just go with it. I'll go with it. If it's what comes to mind, then I don't know, maybe there's something there. How do I draw it though? Gonna need to go with something. I guess those Jenga towers could be a good representation to support that one wooden piece holding a very wobbling tower. Yeah, maybe. Although that would be worrisome. A little bit. Because it suggests that, like, you know, whoever drew it feels very... it would suggest... Rather, not making it about the person. To me, it would feel like a very unstable image. like someone is really dependent on that little bit of support and they're gonna crash down without it. By the way, there's an ad break about to start. Sorry about that. I beg your forgiveness. Also, I'm on the wrong layer, which is to say, on not a new layer. Oh wait, why am I posing it in that direction? That's a weird thing. I don't know. We'll just go with it. We'll go with it. Doesn't feel like it would feel right the other direction. So let's roll with it. This is a very just roll with it kind of image. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, sure. Let's go full pretentious. Wait, is that the one? I think it is. Wait. I need to make sure. Is that the right one? Okay, yes. Just a minute and 20 seconds left. That does not sound right. Hi Ping, how are you doing? Ping, would you like to join us for today? Although it's a little low on time. Doing okay, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, hang on. It's like a third of the time left, and I need to do thing. Wow. Submitted. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yes, and thank you. Maybe next time. I would love that. Can't join. Writing some documents for my work. Oh. Okay. You write those documents. No procrastination.
But yeah, I would love to have you for these. Always happy to have more people. Especially when they're ping-like people. Also submitted. Oh, intrigued to discover collectively WTS my subconscious mind's been up to. Ooh. Okay. Curious to see. Curious to see what awaits me there. What? Oh man, I'm not the biggest fan of what I'm doing here today. I guess I'm a little bit burnt out, brainially from the past few days. Like it's been lovely, but also it's been a lud. It's been lovely. Hang on, why am I doing that? Got dinner, nice. Not in self-reflection, probably could draw tarot for myself. Been like 8 months since last did a draw. It was painfully accurate. Mainly because they just point out what's in my subconscious mind that the awaker side refuses to acknowledge. Yeah, that is how it goes, yeah. Sure, that can be very helpful if you're approaching it in such a healthy way. Oh, small nuggets, crinkle fries, smothered in burger sauce and sweet corn. One of the few topics you can feel positive about? Aw. That is, well, I'm partially glad to hear that. Hang on. So if hand here, then arm go like this, head like so, kind of. Mm-hmm. And shup. Shup. Line. Okay. Only a couple minutes left. I once more have mismanaged my time. 'Cause that is what I do. And that is just what I do. What?
Taiju,
Oh, God.
I am trying to remember how to say white in French, but my mind keeps going blank.
Hi, Snow Hive. How are you doing? Where we send the art, there's a link in the pinned comment message thing. The night is noir. Noir. Noir, 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 noir. Good, good. I'm glad to hear that. Good is good. Oh god. This pose is really hard to draw. Submitted? Nice. Thank you. I don't freaking. I don't. Sure. Like so. Yeah, I guess I really should increase the time limit. Just a bit. Okay. Let me just clean this up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And here, okay. Sure. And then, hang on. This looks funky. Okay. We can go. Brr. Is that Connie? What? Oh, sorry. No. That is not. Well, at least not intentionally. Okay. Ikimashou. Boop. Give me a business day. I'm sending it. Okay. Let's go. Let us go to the store and pick up some girls, am I right? Okay, we have 3 submissions already. Okay, nice. Hop, 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 hop. Hop, 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 hop. Oh. I want men instead. That is, you know what? That's fine. We're just gonna have to go to 2 different stores, I guess. Hang on, let me take a sip. Bah. Let's go. The soup store, yes. Why would you pick up boys at the soup store? Bah. First submission. Aww. Oh. So, we have a bridge over water, but the bridge broke down. There's some stuff that I'm not sure if I can correctly identify. Ah, okay. I thought at first that there was like a person sitting up there, just kind of looking upon the stuff that happened there, but I think it's more like a, yeah, I think it's like one of those signs that warn you, one of those barriers that warn you about the upcoming, thing. The upcoming danger. That is a little bit worrisome in this context. I mean, the landscape, like it's very bright, very jovial. There's like a lot of life and energy going on, but you know, the motif, of course, suggests that support has not been sufficient. It suggests, you know, destruction, decay, things breaking down. That maybe there hasn't been enough support. In fact, another thing I'm not sure I can identify is like something in the background, which might be like a bicycle? 2 bicycle wheels? It makes me wonder if someone has already fallen down there? Or, I always feel bad when I can't identify something, because like, you know, it feels rude. Thank you for the love.
On the plus side, I mean, one good thing is a warning has been put up. A warning has been put up. And like, yeah. Like I said, the colors are really nice and powerful and lively. But yeah. It feels like there needed to be more support. Feels like there's something to build, something to rebuild. Like, It's very assuming, so I won't go into it. Yeah, that's what I better. Makes me feel like that maybe the bridge could represent oneself, and there could be the warning of behavior, like they're concerned with the direction that they're going but have no support system. A feeling that there's no other route. It's hard to talk about images like this without talking about the person who drew it. But like, I keep falling into this trap myself. But it would be better to talk about it in terms of like, you know, when I see this, it looks to me like, you know, being concerned about going in a direction, being concerned about going in a direction that like, I don't know, it's hard to talk in general terms like that, right? Like, I guess it is. I don't know. Whenever I say they, I'm also referring to myself in a different person. Okay. That's fair. Yeah. Back to reading. Like they're concerned with the direction that they're going, but have no support system, a feeling that there's no other route. Could also maybe be a carriage, which could potentially represent the load they were carrying and how deep it runs, like the water. As the support that wasn't there failed, it may feel like they are almost drowning in a sense. An interesting thing to note is that, like, now that these pieces of the bridge have fallen into the water, it's almost like a new kind of bridge is forming down there. That's a little interesting little perspective there. That something new is being created from the broken down pieces. Little path of stepping stones. It's also, there's like, how deep does the river go? I don't know. You could go pretty deep. I mean, One thing that's occurring to me right now is that a bridge is something very, like, constructed, you know, very artificial. Whereas a river is a life-giving thing, a biome, which, like, is the bridge necessarily a good thing? Like, it can help you get somewhere faster, but is it necessary? I don't know. Lots of things to think about there. But yeah, let's see. What did I have to say about this? Once again, I didn't really let my brain time to dwell on what support really means. Just drew the first idea that blinked into my mind. First thought was arch. That is a self-supporting structure. Remove one piece and it all comes down. Cracks are hard to notice, and by the time anyone can see them, it's too far gone. Guess the bridge is more or less of a metaphor for what possibly happens once the support is gone, and the whole thing comes crashing down. Remnants can be in the river of life, but will never be the same. Yeah, that is also true. Like, the whole thing about, you know, entropy, that you can't really
put things back the way they really were before. Not quite. Cannot uncrack an egg. Almost as if taking the natural or calming route of the river would be a healthy route. Yeah. The River of Life. Yeah, I had a song by that title in mind while talking about that. The bridge versus the river thing. I can glue egg back together, but then it's not gonna be the same egg. It's gonna be egg but with glue in it, you know? And like a lot of the tiny little microscopic structures where it broke, they will have changed. So, you know, just a little bit different. No. It's gonna be an Easter egg, yes. Okay. Hang on, let me make sure that there's nothing. Okay. Wow. Oh. Interesting. So we have these two Hellcatish characters. Crying while rubbing their cheeks against each other. One of them... only one is a Hellcat. Okay. Now, it's interesting. Like, it's not easy to see which one of the two is the one being supported. Because the one on the right is leaning a little bit more onto the other one, which suggests that their weight is being held. But the other one is more like has both of their eyes closed, which feels like they are really like resting, you know, like they are the one who, they also have more tears in their eyes, which feels more like they are the one who most needed some rest and some comfort. And then again, the one on the right with one eye open might still be in like a bit of that fight or flight state, you know, where it's like they're still trying to keep like one eye open to make sure like that the other person is still there. But the fact that it's so kind of ambivalent in that sense is really nice, because like it suggests that it's not just one person like supporting the other, but it's mutual support. They both have had their pain, and they both appreciate that comfort. And they, by comforting each other, they can both heal each other. They can share in that comfort. That shadow is interesting. That shadow, let me lean in closer. Is this two eyes? I think it is. Huh. I think those are two faint little calm eyes. And there's a little heart there, like it's a mouth. Which makes it kind of look like the shadow is like a representation of their relationship. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Steven Universe. And yeah. In fact, in a sense, you could say that they are sitting on that shadow, and that shadow is supporting them. You know? And of course, the whole thing has a very warm vibe. Like everything around them feels a little bit like
there's emptiness around them, but it's warm. And, you know, so bright. And yeah, peace at last. Like, feels like they've been on the run or something for a long time. And now they finally found each other, or finally have a moment to rest and really recover. Maybe they make each other whole, and that's what the shadow represents. Maybe. The shadow underneath is calming, restful eyes and supporting them both. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think the one on the right is the one who most still kind of feels a little bit unsure. Like their smile also isn't quite as pronounced like a smile. Still a little bit crooked, like what? But yeah, please give me more time. I had to do a thing and ended up with only 10 minutes to draw. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh dear. We'll try. Okay. What did they have to say about this one? I had recently met someone I've grown close to quickly. I'll call them Y. Originally there was another A, making us a sort of trio, but A recently took off. Their reason was they didn't want to be associated with us. This hurt us quite a lot, made us angry and other emotions you can imagine, so I cancelled things to have one-on-one time with friend Y. The illustration is meant to be soft and light. I'm usually really hurt and angry for much longer, given I don't have someone directly in the same line of fire at the same time from the person leaving me behind. But having Y has brought me a sense of peace that I can't describe. I feel light and safe. True, yeah, light. Because, like, you know, they're kind of floating in space on that shadow. My intentions. The shadow heart, despite there being a heart cut out, it is funnily enough meant to represent the wholeness I feel despite the missing friend. Oh. The pastel colors are due to the lightness I feel, the clarity and calmness. The text being a low opacity is meant to represent my almost disbelief and relief. Right. That adds to the uncertainty of it. That makes sense. I'm finally at peace. Like, despite only getting the answer to A leaving, it sort of brought me closure on everyone else who left me behind too. Like, I'm finally free of that emotional burden. Y makes me feel safe, supporting each other to heal faster than I ever have before. Aw, that is wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, it can be. I talked about that earlier too, with Reverie, about like leaving people who just aren't good for you, you know? It can be a net positive on your life to no longer associate with people who don't like you know, who don't give you support but only make you feel like drained and don't really add anything, I guess. You know. Or like, you know, people who just straight up don't have your best interest at heart. At heart, your best interest at heart. Like like you know, if that person for some reason decided that like you two, for some reason, I don't know what the reason is, I don't know, I should know, you know, don't answer that if it's not, if it wouldn't be helpful to. But like, yeah, the way you said it made it sound like they just don't want to be seen with you in some sense, you know? And that is the kind of person that you don't really need in your life, right? Because like you won't get support from them. Like if the reason the person was left straight up didn't want to be associated with us, yeah. I mean, the question is like, you know, the question I had in mind was like, why didn't they? And it's like, you know, but that sounds like something very superficial and calculated, which, yeah, that kind of a person is not going to give you the kind of emotional closeness and feeling of safety that you need. So, you know, it's not a big loss, and if anything, it might even be an improvement to not have someone like that kind of like draining you with a connection that isn't really based on anything real. I'll never know, but that's fine. I think that isn't a real reason, but I'm more concerned I'm mutually supporting my friend. Alright. That's good. I'm glad you're not too concerned with the reason. Like, sometimes maybe in some cases there might be like something to learn from like reasons why people might want to leave us behind, but the more important reasons to like reflect on yourself about what you might have done wrong probably come from people who will still give you a second chance, who will still give you the chance to like talk about things before just leaving you, you know? So, next one. Sometimes I feel like I've been the person draining others. I have a weird thing when I feel like I've just grown tired of someone and I stop talking to them. Like they're a toy I don't want to play with anymore. Maybe it's because I've changed. Maybe some feature of theirs started to cause resentment in me. Makes me feel horrible. I don't know. I mean, That is something. That is something worth looking into. Like if that's something that bothers you, but question is it really like a toy thing? Like, do you really feel like you're just using people for entertainment or in some fashion? Or is it just like, I don't know, sometimes the spark just kind of vanishes. Sometimes you feel like there was something there and then it's like, I don't know, like you're just... Sometimes you feel like there was something exciting, something fun and great and stuff that seemed so new and fresh, and then at some point it's just not fresh anymore, and if that's all there was, then it's like, okay. I feel love spending time with people, it's just that I almost feel like I burn out from interacting with them or something. Then it might be... it might be worth looking into whether like the way you interact with those people is healthy for you, if it's like too much at once, or if like you don't really get that sense of a deep connection, so it's just like you're just kind of playing around, and eventually the way that people play around just kind of becomes like same old hat, so it's not fun in that sense anymore. So then it's just like, you know, and then once the fun is gone, it's just there's nothing left because you didn't make a deeper connection. You know what I mean? To be fair to you, the internet is really focused on the idea of replaceability, like, oh, there's options, which really doesn't have seem to have a positive impact. I think you're onto something with the too much at once thing. My ADHD would definitely explain this. Yeah, ADHD, it can make things like really exhausting. Like, yeah. Like you're having fun, and then eventually you're just like, oh god, everything is so much. I need to lay down.
So about this image. So, oh, so we have. Yeah, it's the mutual thing. It's the mutualness thing. We have the orange cat-like character and the yellow bunny-like character. And then, you know, orange offers yellow some support after that their heart was broken. A little bandage for the broken heart to help put it back together. And then, you know, on another day, orange is having a breakdown, and then the roles are reversed. You know, everything feels like a mess to them, but in that sense, you know, they have their friend, and it's just they're like, hey, I care. I'm here. I'm, you know, it's a little bit of stability. There's a sense of stability there. You know, like in the simplicity of the phrase "I care," and just a little flower and the little star, are like a really strong counterpoint to this jumble that orange friend is going through, where, like, you know, they can't even seem to get anything concrete out of their mouth. It's just like, you know, well, it's just like it kind of for a second it kind of reminded me of a text post I read about, like, I think it was like two trans femme people talking about, like one of them was having like this whole existential doubt about like everything, like what it even is, like the whole femininity thing and overthinking, spiraling and stuff. And then her friend was just like, you know, just did a little twirl with her skirt, and it went like whoosh, and it was like that's what it is. Yep. Just that simplicity, just like, hey, you know, everything seems really overwhelming, everything is too much, and you don't know where you are, where you're going, how to get there, etc., etc. But what's real is, I'm here, I care, and I like you, and I give you a big hug. I need an emergency skirt for twirling, and hell yeah. It also kind of reminds me of like that whole thing about like a flame doesn't lose any of its fire by sharing it, because like the gesture on top feels relatively small. It's just like, you know, this little bandage, like, hey, my heart is broken. And it's like, hey, I have something for your heart. Come here, let me give you a thing. And then like down there, you know, the friend returns that support like threefold, with like 3 more things to counter their spiraling. As for this artwork, the character receives the love and care for healing, but when it comes to the orange cat receiving the same treatment, they're unsure how to take it. Oh, that's how it is. Oh, you know what? That is probably closer to what was intended. Like, this other person, their friend wants to return that support, but they're just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I see that. It can be really hard to receive that support. It can be really hard. Like, it can really turn into one of those things where it's like, rules for thee, but not for me, you know? Where you understand that people are deserving of love,
and stuff like that, but you've just learned to look down on yourself, like you aren't deserving of the stuff that you allow others. I've been thinking that I should spread the fun more evenly. Sure, if that's what you think might help you, it's worth a shot. Yeah, mutual support. It's bold and it's clean. It really feels like the relationship is solid and both characters know this. Yeah, but, you really are onto something with Orange maybe responding to their friend's support by, like, not knowing how to respond. Like, I've been there. Not really knowing how to accept that support. The Orange one being so used to being the one to give out support that when they receive it don't know what to do. Yeah. Does kilt count as emergency skirt? That depends entirely on how you stand towards it, how you feel about that kilt. Also, kilt is way too stiff to twirl in, Joy is like jam. You can't spread it without getting a little on yourself. Oh, that is adorable. And eating a spoonful or two, yeah. Okay, let's see the commentary. This piece contains two characters, Johnny the orange cat and Billy the yellow rabbit, one representing myself and the other a very close friend of mine. On the top, Johnny tries to help Billy, who is feeling heartbroken, and the bottom, Johnny, who is feeling overwhelmed, and Billy stops to help. Each character is there for the other in times of need. Like, the whole of the piece was based on The Golden Eel by Ween, and the line, "Who can explain all these thoughts wrecking my mind?" The eel offered his help. The golden eel. Who can explain all these thoughts wrecking my mind? The eel offered his help. I don't understand this one. The golden eel? A song? Sitting alone in the den, watching the eel, help me find my way home, watching the eel. Burrows its head in the sand, daylight has come, there shall be rest in a while, daylight has come. I cannot repeal the words of the golden eel. Who can explain all these thoughts, wrecking my mind? An endless barrage of shit, wrecking my mind. The eel offered his help, I can't understand. Speaking its truth from the bank, now I can see. I cannot repeal the words of the eel, I cannot reveal the words of the golden eel. Interesting. That's some deep poetry, but like on the first glance, it seems to me like the lyrics are about like that simple wisdom that, like, you know, what I mentioned before, that like, hey, I'm just an eel, and what I do is I just let myself flow through the river, you know? I think it's kind of ancient wisdom that everything is how it is. But I would be curious to hear what, well, if you want to reveal yourself as the artist of this piece, I would be curious to hear what the song means to you. And here is the last piece for now. Oh heck, I accidentally spoiled myself. So, it's a tree in winter, covered in snow. Covered in snow, surrounded by ice and snow. but still carrying what seems to be an apple. I think it's an apple. A bunch of apples fell down already into the snow. But it's still holding onto one. Huh. Interesting. Unfortunately, man, I already kind of spoiled myself by accidentally scrolling down too far on the forum. But yeah. The fact that, like, it reminds me of the sentiment that the apple does not fall far from the tree. But in this sense, to me, it could imply that in this case the bond is strong enough to keep it intact, keeping it close. Furthermore, it could symbolize that the apple has this entire tree for support, but also somewhat hangs on a thread. Oh, interesting. Hang on, let me clear my throat. Okay, so, to me, well, God, I wish I hadn't scrolled down too far. So the idea is that, like, I think the idea is, I said my piece. I do have to shower. Okay, take care. Yeah, have a good shower. So the tree, even though it's winter, is still holding on to that apple. Like it's all gray and like dead. You know, not dead, but like, you know, hibernating. But still, it's holding on to that apple. It lost like a bunch of them into the snow. And like, you know, in a sense, when we eat apples, we are kind of parasitic, right? We're kind of taking something from the tree. And of course, trees have evolved to be cool with that. Otherwise, they wouldn't put all those nutrients and make those apples so delicious. But yeah. So, this feels kind of lonely. This feels like this feels like having wasted your effort to support people. Like it just fell on deaf ears. It was just left to rot. And now you're just like holding on to that last bit for yourself, saying like I'm not giving away my support, my love to someone who can't really appreciate it. The apples would be eaten by other animals if we didn't intervene, yeah. I mean, you know, it was a general we, like, everyone who eats apples is kind of, you know, parasiting it away from the tree. I don't know if that even means anything. The point is, yeah, that is what it feels like to me. Like feeling left alone and just like what you had to give was not even appreciated. Just ended up on the ground. Yeah. And now it's just a matter of like keeping some of that for yourself, holding on to that until maybe the time is right. So, what was the commentary? I thought of The Giving Tree, which is a book that made me cry a lot. I have a really difficult relationship with the idea of support in most of the ways, as I lacked any growing up. I thought about the desolate scene where there was no support that you actually need. I don't usually do 2D art, much less digital art, and I was drawing with a mouse and MS Paint, so it probably doesn't look the best. Being a reflective person that I am, I had already thought a lot about this subject in particular, so I can't say that working on this changed my mind in any way. I mean, it's not a matter of, like, it having to change your mind. Just, you know, just a process, like what thoughts went into it. And yeah, the Giving Tree, that's a very strong motif to start off with. Really tells a lot. Yeah. It is a really sad book. Like, it can feel sad to feel like you can't really give as much support anymore because, like, you have been betrayed, you have been not appreciated for all you've done. It's sad and short, so it's perfect for me. I see. But yeah, it can be very necessary, but also, you know, hopefully, you know, you can find a place where you can feel like, you know, it's a mutual support situation where you make each other stronger. Now, we don't have our last submission yet. So, and there's an ad break coming soon to theaters near you. So, let's bring in our capture and talk about mine. Typing nearly done? Okay. Like nearly done? Like how nearly done? Like 1 minute or so? Because if so, we could do that first and just wait a little bit while I talk about nothing in particular, which is something that I'm very not actually good at, actually. Like a few more sentences? Okay. Then I'll bring up my piece for a while. Yeah, I can tell why someone thought this was you. Let me clean up this here. Totally neglected this earlier. No. You know what, might as well do a little bit of cleanup. Since there is an ad break coming soon, and I don't want to talk about any images while not everyone can see, let's do a little bit of cleanup. Hey, what happened here? Let's clean this up. That's not good. This bird so patently absurd. I'm gonna need to learn the lyrics to that song. It's so stuck in my head, but I cannot remember like 99% of the lyrics. That is not good for singing along. Singing along requires like at least like, I don't know, maybe 20%. 20% of lyrics at least. For some amount of singability. Oh, also there's a lot of like phantom limb going on here. Yeah, this was a little bit of a mess. But you know. That's just the way it is. Ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum.
Teo's bird brain stuck in his goat brain? Yes, he does, he does. I'm gonna karaoke that song one day. Making me, god damn it. Mentioning karaoke reminds me that I still owe people karaoke. From like, more than a year ago. Oh god. I am the worst. Another interesting subject would be like self-deprecation. Okay, I don't know if that would be like a good subject for introspective art. But maybe. 30 minutes really is not a lot of time. Have you thought about increasing the time limit a little bit? I have. It's like, I don't know. These streams are always kind of difficult because like sometimes there's like not a lot going on and then I struggle to fill the time with anything. And yeah, that's part of it. Another part is that like I guess I used to, this was long ago though, I used to do like more than one per stream when there was like really not much going on. And I got like, 2 submissions or so. At that point it was like, okay, let's just keep moving. Yeah. Nowadays that is of course not a factor, which I'm very grateful for. That's my favorite kind of deprecation aside from entropy. I mean, who's to say that it's different, that it's a different thing from entropy? You also cannot rebuild a self-esteem the same way it was before. Cannot rebuild a self-esteem. After it was broken. What is that? Some sort of magic? Probably. Okay, welcome back. Entropy is the eventuality of things. It's not something we can control. Self-deprecation can be changed. But self-deprecation is destructive. And so, it also causes entropy to be entropical. Oh dear me. You had a lot to say about this one. Well. Entropical, yes. Pickle enter my tummy. So, here we have what seems to be a depiction of the kind of energy, the kind of life energy, love energy that you receive from another person, as a power source similar to like gasoline. 3 characters, one of them trying to get like a tiny little bit of energy from one person, from the what do you call it? It's not a gas tank, it's a gas provider pool.
Or wait, no, hang on. No, hang on, I was looking at it wrong. I was looking at it the wrong way. Hang on, nozzle, no, I was hello there, Lazar, hello. I was looking at it the wrong way. There's a person with a back turned to the other ones who has like an empty tank. Thank you for the like. I appreciate that. With an empty tank, just kind of angry, just turned away, turned like not open to like really receiving or giving anything back, not really open to like, not really open, not open to contact, to connection. And they have this tank that's like empty, but is also has an an empty bottomless void right underneath it. And a friend of theirs is just giving them like some of their remaining energy, not looking very happy about it. In fact, even their hair looks like they're kind of dying, kind of losing their life energy. You know, using the nozzle indeed, to put some energy into that vessel, but the vessel is bottomless. It just, like my interpretation of the previous piece, it just doesn't go anywhere. It falls on deaf ears. It doesn't turn into anything. It can't grow into anything. Because, yeah, turning yourself away like that, not really inviting a connection that's reciprocal, doesn't really allow for anything to be maintained, not for anything to grow. It just takes. And that's, you know, I don't know how people end up like that. It's like, it reminds me of that emotional immaturity that that's been described in, you know, adult children of emotionally immature parents and stuff like that, where people are like just so self-absorbed because of their insecurities and stuff, that feeling like fundamentally unlovable, that they really don't open themselves up to the idea that they can be loved, and just make everything about like receiving what they feel they are owed, receiving the attention and love and stuff that they feel they are owed, but like not really doing anything. It doesn't really make them actually feel loved, because like it doesn't address the fundamental issue. Like the fact that this character's hair turns blue just like that container, kind of feels like, And what does it feel like? Like something's being drained. Like even their self is being drained in some fashion. Kaigaku, what is that? And then yeah, there's a third character. The one with the fluffy hair and the big ears. With like, you know, a decently full tank. Approaching with like, you know, that open gesture, with that gesture of wanting connection. Saying, you deserve better than that. You deserve to, you know, have a reciprocal relationship. Not one where like your efforts fall into a bottomless void. A character from Demon Slayer. I like these streams, they make me think on a deeper level with art. I'm glad.
yeah. Yeah. Also interesting is that, like, this other person, the third person, has a different color for their energy. Like, their tank is green. It's also, Also, it didn't really occur to me before. Like, the leftmost one just has a tank that can only receive. The middle one is like always ready to like to provide their energy, just carrying it on their back. And the one on the right has it kind of like handy, you know? It can't support itself is, I think, a big thing. It doesn't need the character to hold it up. And in fact, it could even serve as like a makeshift little seat, you know? So like they can move it around comfortably. And yeah, it doesn't need to be like a burden. Huh. Interesting. Okay. I think with that, I've mostly got everything. I guess there's also, you know, color theory. Like the green is very healthy. Green is life-giving. Meanwhile, purple, more kind of like, purple can mean a lot of things, but it's pretty dark. It's a pretty dark one. And then blue is just blue. Blue in this case looks just kind of like sad, you know, unhappy. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see. In the past, I've been more invested in certain people than they cared about me. Represented by the character Helena on the left, she's basically an energy vampire who constantly likes to feel like a victim and depend on her quote-unquote friends for validation, while not giving them any kindness in return. Represented by her facing away from a Sona Kasarine while frowning. She's stuck in her own head and can't consider others. Kasarine in the middle of the picture is using her limited energy to fill Helena's bottomless pit, and soon she's gonna run out. She's also wearing her energy tank on her back, which represents carrying more burden than she needs to. Helena's tank is on the ground, meaning that she's not carrying or taking responsibility, just leaning on it, relying on it. Oh. And it's also huge to represent not just the bottomless pit, but also how big of a deal she makes her problems and how much fucking effort it takes to talk to someone like her down from guilt trip spiraling, because they're so full of negativity and would rather manipulate others into giving them all the reassurance than actually fix their shit, LMAO. Whew. And one could also say that this demanding tank is coming between Helena and Cass, not just literally, but in terms of preventing them from actually being good friends. Yeah. Then along comes Turner with his own energy tank that may or may not be full, but he is still willing to share it with Kasarine, because he knows that Cass is not going to take advantage of his kindness and that his support will actually make a significant difference to help her. And his energy tank is efficiently on wheels, to show how he is very capable of providing support and has thought through the right thing to say. Huh. The energy vampire people I've been manipulated by in the past tend to not care about me at all and just do the bare minimum of faking tolerating me so they can receive my support. But the good news is I know better now, because people like Turner have shown me the power of equally reciprocal friendship. Yippee. Oh yeah, and Helena's side is cold and dark, but also on the left side, also the left side to represent the past and regression. She's looking back, not forward. True. And Turner's side is bright, warm, cuddly orange for a hopeful and loving future. Kasarine is facing left / the past because she's so focused on Helena and desperately wanting her approval, But she won't be for long, because Turner will get through to her, and she will leave Helena behind. She has no hope of fixing her. That's Helena's own responsibility, yeah. Kasarine as a character regularly changes her hair dye between a few different shades, but I specifically chose the silvery purple one to be symbolic of stress, because of that stress makes the hair go grey, saying yeah. There's something else I did deliberately-ish that I wanted to write here, but I can't remember what it was, so for the sake of not wasting everyone's time, I'll just say it in chat if it comes back to me. Okay. Did you remember it in the meantime? I remember the thing. Ah! What is it? God, I'm so tired. What is the thing? Let me take a sip. Boy. Turner is cute. I want to ruffle the hair. A real cutie boy. What is thing, my Connie? Meanwhile, I'll turn on my iPad capture. I've turned on the iPad capture. Snowhive, hello. The thing, yes. Is it the shoes? Is it the colors? No, I already mentioned the colors. Helena's tank is not securely planted on the ground. I semi-deliberately made the edge of it standing within the slope of the void pit, like her way of operating is unstable. Oh man, I need to really consider that everything you do is deliberate. Cause like, for a brief second, I noticed that it doesn't quite fit. And then I just brushed over it. But nope, it was on purpose. Man. Well, thank you for sharing this. Okay, and now, finally, here is the Dayu thing. It is the thing of the Dayu. Wow. I have mixed feelings on it. For anyone who doesn't know, the character at the top is Chinese/Japanese. It's not deliberate. If it's not deliberate, it's an interpretation that I already made canon. Good. The character at the top means human. And there's like... apparently it's like a really commonly drilled into people's... into school children's heads thing, that the character for human is two bars that support each other. You know? And I don't know, I feel really dumb about adding that because like at first I had this idea of like, you know, the whole kite thing, but then it felt like it didn't feel reciprocal enough. Like only one of them is like holding the other up. But then again, you know, once I actually showed the bottom character like having fun with this, which makes sense because like you fly a kite in order to have fun, right? So like why would they not enjoy that thing, even if they're putting in a little bit of effort to do it? They still do it because it's fun. They love it, you know. So yeah. Honestly, that top part is not really necessary, but I put it in there now and it's there. Me when I gain joy from helping my friends, yes. Aw, I'm glad you like it, thank you. No. No.
I don't know why this was like the first thing that came to mind. I just started like with the vibes. I don't know, I just wanted these comfy vibes. Like blue and pink and then some warmth. And then you just kind of like, I don't know. Just, then I tried to think of like what to add, and that is just what happened. Like something flying, and then it turned into a kite. And yeah, I guess it makes sense. You know? I guess in a way it shows a way in which like together we can make each other do things that wouldn't be possible alone, I guess is a thing. It shows off emotions really well. Oh. I mean, you just... It's not about that. It's not about, like, making me feel good about my art. It's just... But I guess, you know, you should totally draw over this as Conifer flying the Teiyu kite. I mean, it would be easy to accomplish. You would just need to fill in the right colors, huh? And make the top character bald. But, yeah. I think with that, we're done for today. And I'm going to say goodbye to YouTube. YouTube! Hello. Good night. Bye. And, if I hadn't been busy for most of the stream, I probably would have